Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another listening. I know your boy looking a little homeless, but I'm trying to save my cut for the major. But oh yeah, welcome back to another listening. Obviously, where I go back and talk about the matches or talk about I guess all the COD League matches that happened. We're gonna cover the minor in this one and the last matches of last weekend. So the minor won't be too crazy since it was obviously the weekend before. I'm kind of just gonna go in depth. Um, about our matches and kind of look over the bracket. And then we go yappy a little bit about COD. So I hope you guys enjoy this video once again. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, whatever you got to do to show some love. Appreciate y'all as always. Let's do it. Okay. So as of you guys that are fans and that know, this year we obviously had a minor tournament, just a small little tournament in between our qualifiers that really, I don't want to say meant nothing, but you got a little bit of cash out of this and you got a few, I guess, CDO points for champs. So basically none of these matches meant anything for the major. They all just meant for the overall standings for champs. And obviously FaZe ended up taking it, tips to them, because they were not looking the best going into this, but they obviously hit a regain and won it. But let's go over it. So first match, obviously we had the Falcons. I'm kind of just gonna briefly go over our matches because I don't want to talk about every match in this minor. The video is gonna be an hour long at that point. We had the Falcons. We definitely were looking forward to playing them just because we knew their playstyle was kind of weird. But I think in this match in particular, the playstyle was like super weird. It was way, I would say, more slower paced than a lot of other teams, and it's kind of throwing me off because I feel like I was just giving myself so many bad times because I'm expecting somebody to be in a place that they should be, and they definitely were not there. Overall, I think the series is pretty dominant from us, and we started off pretty slow in the first hard point. They definitely caught us off guard with a break off, and they kind of just changed P1 to P2, and it definitely looked bad for a minute. But heading into the next match, we played Boston. We lost to them early in the year. I think they were actually our first ever CDO match this year, and we lost to them, I think 3-2. I'm pretty sure 3-2. So we definitely wanted to get back our revenge versus them. And I think Boston this year is definitely a little bit underrated. They're pretty good at S&D, but they're also just super gritty, and they kind of take you to the limit any map. And honestly, they smoked us in the control. I'm pretty sure like 3-0 or 3-1, one of them. And honestly, I mean, like I said, I think they got a good mixture of players. I feel like a lot of the people on their team are definitely underrated in this game. And I think they just meshed pretty well. And they kind of push teams, like I said, to the limit. And they're always playing in game 5. So tip to them. We obviously beat them game 5. I had a pretty good map 5 versus them on Protocol. Won a good bit of 1v1s. But yeah, GG's to Boston. Next match, we had the Royal Ravens. So this is the one that we're probably the most excited for this whole tournament, just because obviously the Ravens being at the top of the standings, they were undefeated. They haven't lost a match yet, and we wanted to obviously be that loss. And I think this series we played terribly. I'll keep it a stack. Like, I don't think we played this as good as we should have. Obviously, we lost, but I think people are just trying to simply look at the S&Ds. I played terrible in S&Ds, and I think that was definitely one of the takeaways we took from this match. We obviously went over everything, but I think in S&D in particular, in this match, it kind of exposed how bad our communication was, and our overall just like teamwork was in S&D. Because a lot of the times, like in our S&D, it's kind of like me and Brandon trying to get Kyler and Ant to a spot or get them pushed up so they can make a play. And I think it's like, for the most part, it's the right play. And I think the mid-round adjustment of like, yo, there's 3 here, we need to do what do we want to do? And then like, I feel like that's like where we kind of go blank. It's like we get the information, like let's say we get the information like, oh, there's 2A, there's 1 mid, there's 1 B. And like in my head, I might think, okay, maybe we should just go B. Like we should just wrap this B instantly and rush to B. But then in Ant's head, he might think, all right, let's just all 4v2 these guys on A. And then Kyler might be thinking, let's go mid. Brandon might be thinking, let's just wait for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're all like in different we all have different thought process. And I think that's where the communication part needs to come in. And we need to be speaking to each other like what we want to do. Most of the time, I feel like I'm definitely the one calming the most. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing is like when I'm calming, like, yo, there's 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. And I'm like, yo, let's go B. Like, people are thinking that they're not a part of the play, if that makes sense. So when I say like let's low key go B, Ant might be so pushed up that he might think like he can't be talking to me because I can't go B. You know what I mean? But like I feel like that calm, or like even with Kyler, it might be Kyler or Brandon might be think he's too far from the play to go B. Like I feel like the response needs to be there of like, yo, we can go B, or no, let's just stick to going A, or let's just, you know, do something together. Like I feel like that's like the biggest thing in S&D, because we just get, at least for me, like I'm getting caught off guard a lot of the times of like not expecting people to be in certain places. And like I said, it's just simple, like the simple fact of like our communication is just not where we want it to be in S&D, and that's something that we're working on. So we're gonna move on, because this minor was like whatever. But GG's, like I said, the FaZe, they played pretty well. We haven't gotten to play them this year, so hopefully we get to play them at the major. All right, moving on to, well, that's standings. This week's matches we had on Friday, we had LAG versus New York, we had us versus Vegas, and then we had Minnesota versus Toronto. So other than our match, I thought this day was actually like some good matches. Like LAG versus New York, I feel like they're in kind of the same, well, I thought they were in like the same like tier right now. Obviously LAG wins this 3-0. In terms of this year, it's surprising, but I think in terms of like names, like on paper, like this is like a super even matchup, because I feel like I keep looking at this LAG. I just look at LAG and I think, you know, I'm just thinking like they ass. But I'm also like, I'm not thinking of it in the take of this year. Like I'm not thinking of the players that are on the team. Like normally, I just feel like for the past few years, I've not thought that they were ass, but I just thought they were like the lower end teams. But this year they have obviously world champs on their team. Like they should be good. Honestly, they just smoked them this series. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember watching this because we're probably scrimming since we're the second match. Like usually like how it works, how the scrim schedule works is like if you're the second, whenever the match before you starts, that's when you start your scrim. So we definitely didn't get to watch a good bit of this, but we'll play the LAG. Moving on. So our match versus Falcons, we obviously won 3-1. We lost to S&D. Think about the S&D in this one is the same. It was the same thing that I just kind of brought up. It's like our comms and like our, I guess, information gathering wasn't like as ideal as we needed it to be. And then like obviously we were like misreading people. I wouldn't say misreading people, but like we're misunderstanding like the situation. So basically like kind of give you guys a glimpse of what I'm talking about. We'll watch. Let's kind of give you guys a I guess a rundown of like what was calm this round. So like the round, it is kind of the default thing. Like I'm told to go right. We're planning to plan A. So the idea is to plan A, and for me to call it the vault door for Ant, who gets in vault through middle. Boom. As soon as that happens and I see nothing B, I'm like, yo, low key, I'm about to hit this shit. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, I'm about to hit the right. And it's like, yeah, hit that. So you'll see, like I'm waiting, I'm jiggling because I'm waiting for the bomb to go down before I hit it, because I don't want one of them to like, basically since the bomb's not planted, I didn't want one of them to be right back to B and kill me running through. So I was like waiting for the bomb to be planted so they think that like we're obviously just committed to A. So once the bomb gets planted, boom, you'll see me like activate. So now I'm like, okay, if a guy's here, that's faded. That's what I'm thinking in my head. If a guy's here, he's faded, or he's gonna be rapping back away from me. So here I'm thinking in my head, I need to make this play fast, but also need to not like die instantly, but I also need my teammates to live as long as possible so that I can get close to the play. So I think to like kind of skip it, and what happens, like I flank, but Brandon dies. So the issue with this, in my opinion, and we kind of brought up as a team, is that Brandon cannot die here. So if I'm gonna make this play, I should be calling that everybody needs to stay alive. So Brandon needs to kind of back up out the cat stairs. He's kind of like in a 2 push-up spot that he can just get soloed out. And with me making like for example, if I was still here looking at his pinch, like his mid pinch, then I think it's fine, because then I'm closer to his trade. But the fact that I'm gonna make this play, he needs to back up. You see what I'm saying? So like granted, he could get a kill here. Like obviously he could kill Xnid, but it's just like if he dies and I'm like here, like closer, it's better. That makes sense. So it's just kind of being like too spread on the map. But that's just one quick play I wanted to kind of go over and give you guys a rundown of what I mean about the S&D things. And like, it's not like people are making bad plays. Like Brandon's play is bad if I'm doing what the other play of like watching his flank. But if I'm not gonna watch his flank, he should watch his own flank. You see what I'm saying? Like they're just two different plays. Like, and that's just based off the info that I get. Like, let's say I see a guy right side of the map. I'm not gonna hit through the right side of the map because I see him, or I might, like depending on where I see him go. But like more times than not, I'm just gonna watch Brandon's flank there. So like once my information is gathered and I'm making my play based off that, like everybody else needs to kind of adapt to the play that I'm making. And I need to obviously be confident. Yeah, we win this 3-1. We almost lose the Hasi. I think a lot of people are kind of like roasting us for, I guess, not stacking on our offenses. Anyways, we're gonna skip through this. We smoked the Moscato lot. I think that was honestly one of our cleaner hard points this year. And we've been really good at hard point. I think the whole, like, anybody that watches COD can say that. But I can't, like, till this day, even if you ask my teammates, I've said it multiple times, like, our hard points are not as clean as they should be. Like, our scrims are in hardpoint are, like, I don't want to say night and day, but they're really close. But we make a lot of mistakes in matches that we don't normally make. I'll say that. And I don't know if that's like the other team kind of like pushing us to that point that like it makes us make mistakes or like what. But we're definitely making a lot of stuff like in like the previous match versus Falcons when we went down 100-0 or whatever. Like we were like letting, like we were, what am I saying? I'm telling y'all, I'm cat. See? I'm getting sick, bro. Like I just feel sick, but it's whatever. In the match versus the Falcons the first time when we went down 100-0, we had a few plays like on a P2 and P4 where we're not even blocking the back. Like we're killing them and they're spawning right in the back. Like stuff like that never happens in our scrims, and it is something that we're obviously beating down on because like we need to fix it before the major. It's something that we need to be fixing if we want to win the major. So there's just a few things we need to like step it up on and kind of focus on to obviously be at the spot we want to be to win the major. And I think we're going in the right direction. I'll say that confidently. Okay, next match we had Minnesota versus Toronto. Banger, absolute banger. I didn't get to watch this one because I'm pretty sure once again we were going over stuff after the match, but Toronto has been actually a really good team. I know they've gone like game 5 for like 90% of their series, I'm pretty sure, and they've won it. Minnesota, I'm not gonna lie, y'all look pretty lost in this game 5. I watched a game 5 and it was not a fun watch. But overall, I think Minnesota's obviously a great team as well, and they're another gritty team like Boston. And I really think that if like this year is gonna be like this, I feel like it's gonna be a fun year to watch, especially on LAN, because a lot of these series are going game 5, and I think it's the hype around these matches aren't as crazy because they kind of have nothing on the line except your seed, like obviously your road to champs. But I think these will be much more banger once the major comes around and you know everybody's watching and then there's fans sitting out front and like there's a lot more hype to it. So y'all be excited because a lot of these teams are actually really good and they can push all these top teams or quote unquote top teams. I don't even know if there's a considered top team right now to the limit. Okay, the only thing I want to say about this match is that like I feel like the Falcons are learning really fast. I think the issue with the Falcons, I'll say this confidently, is like, I don't want to come out disrespectful. I'm not obviously being disrespectful to them, but they just have a weird play style of like they expect people to be in like they expect people in places that like they'll never be, I guess, if that makes sense. Like here, I'll show you an example because I actually just remember an example. Like I'll show you one. I think this is like a big thing, and it's not like a bad thing to have, but it's like they're slower because of it. Like they're slower on the map because of it. So look, in this case, it's just Xnee, but Xnee is a pretty fucking good play. I'll start this with that, is that I think Xnee is actually really good. Like he shoots his gun well. It's just like this example is him. So Xnee spawns up ammo, he goes mid cut to middle, boom. They're in a P4 break, and granted, this is not gonna be the easiest break, especially we're a good team. Like we're not gonna get easily broken on this hill most of the time. But like here we have a push-up setup. So in this play right here, he's mid. Granted, his teammates are dying, but like you'll see. So he's waiting. Then he goes around, goes back to middle, and looks vault. Then he's just running in circles middle, looking vault. You see what I'm saying? Like he's expecting somebody to be pushing him when like we're the ones holding. So it makes their like whole push slow and the map itself slow. For your moment of the game, it was right there. See? Then he runs out and dies. And like I said, it wasn't gonna be the easiest thing for him to run out of here to anywhere. So I feel like he should have, if he felt like he was in, I guess, danger, he should have went with a teammate somewhere. And so it's like the same thing here. Like you'll see, like Wexel, I don't know how to say his name, but he's fine. But at the same time, he goes left to Art, and I'm pretty sure Doom and Roxas is just dying over and over. He's here, living. Doom dies again. I'm pretty sure Roxas dies again. But it's like, if you look at the clock, like, bro, we've had 30 seconds of uncontested time. Like I said, it's a P4, so it's like a money hill, but it's like they haven't even come close. Like they haven't even crossed like this line basically until now, and they're still like you. So it's kind of like that thing. Like I'm telling you, we only got broke because we just got lazy. Like we're trying to figure out what the fuck they were doing. Like why are they taking so long? But it is what it is. Well, like I said, I think they'll eventually fix it. I think they've been progressing really fast. So that's my only thing I want to say about that match. Moving on to Cloud9 versus Miami. I think Cloud9 actually like showed up better in this match than they did the LAG match. They still obviously lose it. That boy Metals was frying. I think game 5. Metals showed up crazy in this match, and honestly, I think this is a dagger for C9. I think this was a I would kind of say like a must win for them, because you got to think about it. Like if you're not seen as a top team, like let's say you're not seen as a top team, like whenever these like, and I don't want to come off like I said, like I don't want to come off like being egotistical or like roasting these like teams, because these are great players. Like these should be good teams. And I'm saying, like, when I say these middle of the pack teams, I'm meaning more so like this year it's so much more closer because all the teams are actually pretty good. Like actually good. Like I don't know if that probably speaks to the game. I feel like the game's at a low skill point right now, like where it takes a little bit less skill, but we got to play with what we got. So this year, when you're like a team like these two, you're playing each other for basically a champ spot. That's how I see it. Now, I mean, maybe not right now, but like in terms of the standings, like these are the teams you want to beat. The teams that are like on even level with you in terms of tiers, I guess. So I feel like these matches mean the most than any other match. Losing it, especially after losing 3-0 to another team that they probably will be racing the champs with, not in a race of like. And I don't want to like assume these people's like or teams like spots in the standings now, but just in terms of how many teams can go to champs and everything and how good teams are actually are right now, like there's gonna be a race. So that's just my thing. We'll play, like I said, we'll play the Metals. I think he had a great series this series, and I think Cloud9 just needs to wake up. And I think another thing to speak on too, because I think somebody kind of brought it up, is that Dante's kind of having an off year, and I don't think it's like an off year. Like I don't think he's like playing bad. I just think, I don't know, this game is such a weird game for like flexes, and I'm not even speaking that because I feel like I'm having an off year. I don't even feel like I'm having an off year. That's the thing, is like I'm definitely not putting up the stats that I want to be putting up. And I don't really care for stats. I can tell you for a fact I don't give a damn about the stats. I just want to see a W at the end of my screen. And whenever I have like a series where let's say I have a map that I like didn't play too well on, I'm not thinking in my head like, oh, I need to shoot better. I'm thinking like, what plays did I make that map that were bad or weren't efficient for my team to like win? Because like, I think even if you have like a single player has a bad map, you can still win the map. That's obviously understood. I mean, my teams over the past few years have always won consistently while getting outslayed, and it's not like we're doing it on purpose. It's just we're making the most efficient plays on the map that don't require kills. And so for me, it's like that's kind of like the main thing. And I don't think I've been playing bad in respawns. Maybe have one bad map here and there. I think it's like the S&Ds for me that are like kind of where I'm lacking. And I don't think it's like my lack of understanding of S&D. It's kind of like the lack of like team play in S&D. Because that's always been my thing. Like whenever my team is on the same page and we're kind of communicating, like we kind of know what each other are doing, I can just shoot my gun and like look at my screen and shoot my gun. But I have to look at my mini map to see where my teammate is and kind of call out and kind of like predict what they're gonna do or tell them what to do. It's kind of when I guess like the stats department kind of is out the window. I don't mind doing that. That's the thing. I've never mind doing it, especially if my teammates are kind of listening and like doing the right shit. Then I don't mind doing that. So that's why I don't care for stats. Like I'm always playing for the win. That goes without saying because everybody should be playing for the win. But I think that's a big thing this game. I mean, in this game for Dante, I would say he's probably in a different role than he was in his previous teams. It's probably just like an adjustment period. I think by the middle of the year, end of the year, everybody be calling Dante one of the top players again. So I just wanted to say that because people, obviously, a lot of you fans don't really get much to go off except that. And us pros understand that. At the same time, I would say for somebody like me, I wish a lot of you fans kind of like understood the game to a different degree. And maybe y'all let me know. We can make a video of me going over like a few of our hardpoint maps and kind of explaining like the play, like the efficient or like the most, I guess those winning plays that were made during the map. And if y'all want that, let me know, because I'm definitely down to kind of get you guys the information that y'all need to kind of understand, I guess, COD at a different level than just 1.2s and 1.3s. Up next though, we have Boston versus Carolina. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Boston was gonna win this one. I thought this was gonna be the first loss that Carolina had, and I'm fucking blasted. They did lose this. Oh, I had a feeling that Boston was gonna win this. That's because, like I said, Boston is like that gritty team that takes you to the limit, and I thought this was going to game 5, and I thought they're like Boston was going to win the game 5, but Purge master fucking class map 4. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen. This is one thing I'll say. I don't think I've seen a map like this in a minute, because I think it's so hard to individually win your team the map solo just by carrying. And I think obviously his teammates made a part, but like if every life had like after like the second P4, I mean the second P1, my bad, after the first P4, the second P1, I think Purge was literally a walking 3-piece, and I'll tip it because he's another player that gets a lot of flack. And I can say for sure that he definitely knows how to play like the game. Obviously all pros know how to play the game, but when I say play the game like that, I meant like in like a efficient way. That's kind of what I mean. So for him to have a map like this, I know it felt good for him. I'll say the one play, let me see, because I'll give you an example. Well, one play that I thought was like actually so monumental like to the win for this is the PT rotation. You'll see it here. He gets ball while his teammates are hitting the back. Boom, they get this kill. He instantly takes the time into the hill. Because obviously at this point, like as soon as 7 shoots above him, he knows he has a timer to just like pick a 1v1 in the hill without nobody looking at him, because like 6 Teej obviously has to watch the back. 7 is pushed out, which I think is like the bad play. I think this is like I don't know if they brought it up, but I would say like here they don't have any right pressure. They don't have no info on the right side of the map or middle. They kind of have it because the guys are on ode, but I think with the 5 having to play this far back because he kind of has no information on any of the map, 7 has to play out left, like deep left. Why does 7 have to play out deep left? Because then if he like, let's say he runs up deep left palms, then he knows that nothing's outer, and then he climbs up the cat. Then he knows that like they can only be middle in pool technically. So that makes the job easier for everybody else, because of the fact that like in this moment right here, they can still be front. So then 6 Teej has to help. So if let's say 7 runs up the palms and then clears that, then 6 can literally go to the back and help Austin, or she can go help Austin, or he can run out front, play the palms, play like, I can't like put my arrow there, but y'all know it. Play the palms, look middle, and then Gwen has all his cat and everything. But like Gwen taking this route, and I'm not saying it's his fault, it's just like in the moment, these are the plays that I would make. Is that if I was 7, I would go like either front pool like through this route and like cut the front, just so it makes everybody's jobs easier. This might get you a kill more times than not going cat, because you're gonna catch somebody off top, off a bad timing. But I think it also like kind of like holds your teammates, because like look, also has no help in the back. He still has a look palm because he can just get like Reese can get ran out on the hill. So they're really just like in the setup that they're hoping that like if they don't check Austin here, they win the setup. But I think 2 checks it, boom. Then as soon as 7 shoots and 6 shoots, 1 is like, oh, what the hell? Nobody's looking at this guy on time. Let me just take the 1v1.
Oh my god. Oh, they just lost the spawns off that one. Slasher too easy.
Hill broken.
On the corner, and TJ last man.
Boom. So then like this is the same play I was talking about. So like look at how Purge does it. So as soon as this 4 dead happens, where does Purge go? Top cat. Okay, it's not the same route as I was saying. Top cat. He does go top cat, but then he instantly runs across their cat and goes left. So then he cuts the palm. You see, it's a different play than like, because Gwen just laid down top cat. Boom. Denies left. Okay. So he denies left. I think Cammy still sitting here is kind of like troll, but then you'll see him move up. But you can tell the space that Cammy can take, like, because of how far Purge dies. So Purge dies this far. So he's like, okay, look, they're not even top cat yet. You can get pushed up. Boom. Look how far Cammy goes. And y'all say like, well, what the fuck? Like, why can't he just go out and die? Great death, in my opinion. If he gets a kill, even better, but great death. Like, the fact that, like, he goes up, because him going to take a chow, like, let's say he dies here, where he is. Then that gives him, the other team, so much space to just run up the map freely. But him dying up here means that they have to stagger their push. Like, Reach's gonna be like, oh, I'm watch, I can't go. Then they have to wait. So then that means Austin, like, oh, I gotta go then. What the fuck? Dies. Boom. Instead of, like, let's say Reach kills Cammy all the way back here, then Reach could easily just run up for free.
Masterclass.
And it's also like dying so far, like how Cammy does, allows like Snoopy take his space middle, and then also one Purge who died so far get back into the play in the fights before Carolina even gets to the hill.
Kills in a one pump, but right now the Chumps are just Carolina, can't handle anything.
Hey,
this is destructive.
Anyways, that's it. Enough talking about God. Oh, and going into depth like that. All right, next day we have Sunday. We had Toronto versus LAG. I had Toronto on this one, especially just because of how good they've been looking. I thought it was gonna be another game 5, but they won that one. Then we have the banger of us versus LAT, which we're obviously gonna go over. Not too much. We smoked them first map. S&D. Here, I'll kind of show you guys the situation we're kind of talking about, like, once again. So let's find it. So, like, for example, here in this 2v1. Okay, so 2v2, I seen them both go to bomb here. Boom, we know Ghost is on bomb, so we're like, I just hold this guy. Boom, we kill him. So as soon as this happens, I'm like, yo, listen, just hold. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and lick paper. So in this sense, I'm thinking like Brandon is just gonna hold like this angle to where he has my outer cross basically, and I'm gonna hold paper, right? But then as soon as I see Brandon's arrow turn and he runs away, I look at the mini map. So that's why my gun is down, because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just gonna try to hide, because I'm like, he just left. Like, this guy can go anywhere now. And so now it ends up in a 1v1. Whereas like realistically, if we were like in, I'm not blaming Brandon, because like but this is like one thing where we just need to work on as a team, is just like our comms here. Like, Brandon has to let me know that he's gonna leave me and that I should play my own gunfight. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I called it, I'm gonna watch this window regardless, but once I see him move, then it's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do? Go into the control, because I think this is one where everybody's like, all right, why are we not stacking the point? To be fair, I did call it the stack. I'll just preface that with that. I called it the stack for sure. So here I'm like, yo, we should look, you just stack this shit. And in scrims, I would say, like, I can confidently say, like, in a 4 dead, we would most of the time not stack this, just because you can go spawn trap them and like get ticks, especially so early in the round. But the only reason like I called the audible to stack, and like y'all would say, like, why is the audible stack? Like, because the thing about offense, like the thing how you want to play offense, I guess efficiently, is like you want to get the other team's lives down while also capping the point. So like you want to stop the clock right here. So let's say we stop the clock. We want to get their lives down. We're up 6 lives, which is actually a lot of lives, but like we want to kind of like farm them a bit while also like single capping. And then like as soon as we down their base, then we go to stack for the next one, which is kind of like it seems like a hard thing, but it's actually most of the time pretty easy. But here, the reason I called to stack, and y'all said like, why, like, how would you call to stack here if y'all don't normally stack in this moment, is because of the fact that our 4 dead was not clean. So let's say we get a 4 dead that's clean. Like, look how early we kill Paco. We kill Paco, and then his whole rest of the team isn't even dead yet. 2 dead, that's still a space, like delay into like the next kill. Boom. This is 3 dead, but look, Paco's already spawned 3 dead. Now it's 4 dead. But these 2 are audio spawned, so they could literally be through bottom. Like, Paco could have been bottom 1 to pitch in our low U right here. Granted, he would have to touch 8 point, but he could be pretty quick. So that like that small minuscule timing means that we cannot push out, because then that means that it's a 1v1 with the guy on the point. So the reason for not stacking and pushing out spawn trap is that the guy on the point can literally sit there with his knife out, and nobody, and like all of them are still like here. But the fact that Paco's so early, I'm like, oh, we should low-key just stack this shit. But I could tell that like Ant was already committed to his play. Granted, we killed Paco here, so it's not, like I said, it wasn't like terrible, but my idea to stack was because of that. And honestly, Scrap made a weird play. I don't know how he kind of read Ant pushing him unless he's seen him.
Who's gonna be playing for kills by
But,
off? Is Dashy trying to trap the right side of the map in it? What?
And then here, like I counted the names wrong. So here, I didn't even realize Paco died. So here, I'm like, I want a child scrap. You'll see, I want a child scrap, but I'm like, look, I can get flanked here. So I'm trying to back up to like play the outer fence. Because I'm thinking like, all right, this guy comes behind me, he's gonna shoot me in the back, but he can also come my top plat. Like he can climb top plat, kill me. And I'm thinking Paco's alive this whole time. So then this gives me the worst timing on scrap because I'm like, okay, let me just go child scrap and like guarantee I kill him. And then as soon as I go to chow him, thinking that like, okay, at this time, because I held this cross the whole time. I held the cross to the plasters the whole time. I'm thinking, all right, he went to 10 at this point, but he's like way slower than I thought in this moment. But that's basically it without going too in depth and like kind of like giving away what we want to do. But that's the reason why we don't stack it, because like most of the time you don't stack it, is like you want to get the kills down and like also cap the point, because in it, like let's say right here it's 22 to like 10 lives. They would like LAT would never hit B because they're feeling like, all right, we keep hitting B, we're gonna keep trading, we're gonna be down to no lives basically, and they're gonna have so much time. So like that's the whole reason for getting their lives down, is because you make the other team play slower if their lives are lower. Obviously. All right, next match. Oh, we can't go next match. I gotta shut on me. We gotta shut on me too. You know what I mean? Like here, I think we played this round. Like this is kind of like we started coming back, because I'm telling you, our comms are so much different in these like the comeback rounds than they were the rest of the map. Like here, I'm coming like, look, yo, Kyler, let's shout this shit. Because I'm thinking like because the whole map, bro, they were wrapping the bomb. So here, when they go trade for trade with Ant, I'm thinking like, let's shout this shit to guarantee to not be. Once we guarantee to not be, then we can figure out what the fuck they're doing. Then boom, I see them. I only seen Paco and Envoy, so I didn't see Scrap there, or I'm one of them. So I'm like, yo, they wrap back through their Lambo. Boom, boom, boom. So here, Kyler's like, I'm taking space to top open. He goes there, so then I give up B, because then at this point, like, I know they not B in the first like 5-10 seconds, but then if they come back to B, they can just easily solo me out. So I'm just trying to get into a trade opportunity with my teammates. That's why I completely give up B and we just hold the halls. Boom. So then I'm kind of counting in my head like the 5 to 10 seconds I was saying. So I'm like, if they come back to B, they'll be here at this time. So you'll see when I like, boom, here. I'm like, okay, they're gonna be B at this moment. Boom, I see nothing on bomb, and then I see them cross here. So I'm like, yo, B, 2, Paco, Envoy. I'm like, I'm gonna nade bomb. Boom, I nade bomb. I'm like, yo, nothing on bomb. And then at this moment, I'm thinking in my head, these guys are gonna rap again. So like, yo, Kyler, let's chow this shit. And he's like, you want to chow this? I'm like, yeah, let's chow this. So I go to chow it. You'll see. I go to chow it, but then like as I go to chow it, Brandon gets into like a gunfight with them. So I'm like, oh shit. So at this point, I'm like, wow. But so this is my thought process here. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe they backed up through Lambo and one of them was planting the bomb. I don't know why I was thinking this, but like in the minute after it looks troll, but in the heat of the moment, that's kind of what I was thinking. So I go to check the bomb and I'm like, wow, they just both died. Fuck, we lost.
But it all comes down to Kenny.
But then so then in this moment, I'm like, I look at this cross and I'm looking here because I think Kyler called them both secret. So at this point, I'm like, low key they can go A, but I'm like, they keep wrapping the bomb. So I'm like,
1v2.
Keeping this in mind, I'm like, all right, make sure they're not making the fast play through middle to A. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hold open and I'm gonna late check my left to B. So I'm expecting them to be here. And I'll tell you another reason, like I give this up. So I kill this guy. So look how far Envoy is from him. And like, I'm thinking if they both are gonna be here, they're both basically in my iron sight right here. So then I go to back up because I'm thinking like either Envoy's late hitting through middle P1 or he wrapped through Lambo with the bomb. Because of how Hydra died. Hydra dies like, it looks like he's like expecting me not to be anywhere near close. So that's why I'm thinking like either he's going to be with the bomb by himself or he ran through bottom middle.
Bomb over towards his site. Here we go. There's one.
And obviously I just want to go back. Boom. Wow. Going on to the next match, bro. Yeah, Atlanta versus Minnesota. This match was pretty clean from Atlanta. I thought it was gonna be a mixy because they lost first map, but all that tells me is that Minnesota's pretty good at Hasi. Because I think right now FaZe are pretty good hard point team, so Minnesota got to be pretty gritty or pretty good at Hasi, and honestly, it might be a weak point. Now, just playing. But that's it. That's it for the rest of the matches this weekend. I kind of went a little over it than what I wanted to. It's a little longer than I wanted to, but it is what it is. I love talking about COD. like I said, if y'all want me to make that video about basically going over a few of our hard points from matches, and maybe even compared to a scrim map, like the same map, I can show you guys and kind of give you the idea of like what I think is the most efficient plays that we're making and stuff like that. So without giving, you know, our juice away. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in, for listening. If you are here, once again, make sure you drop a like on this video, drop a comment, drop a whatever to show some love. Appreciate y'all as always, and I'm out. Peace.